I've been tasked to talk about something that evokes memories, and I had a whole plethora of ideas and maybe different neighbours with different things, and there's plenty of things that I have. And just looking at the folklore.ie page, something came up about a wet and windy May fills the haggart with hay. I started thinking about the haggarts, my neighbour's haggart, my own haggart, which is gone now, and I just suddenly thought of this. The hay turner, or the hay tosser as we called it, and it's an amazing machine. My dad had the horse, my neighbour had the machine, and they did an awful lot of work together. They didn't go to the bog together. It was amazing. People had different metals for different things. But one of the things these two gentlemen worked on was the hay and bringing in the hay. And the hay would be cut, it would be turned by hand, you would pull out all the dirt, all the capogues out of it, which is very important. Ragworth as well, but I think by the time in the 70s, the ragworth was really not a problem. It was fairly well eradicated. And once the hay was ready then, the tosser was brought in. And this was making it into bigger rows. The horse would be pulling it around the field, the person up in the seat guiding it, and it would go on. You'd build it into rows, then you would make wines or haycocks. Growing up, your status was all down to your job, how old you were getting always. The youngest always had to pull from the bottom of the wines, because when they would make the haycocks, you had to pull the hay out so it wouldn't kind of drag and sag and get wet. You knew you were really getting a promotion when Dad would let you hop up on this. And when the rows were made, you could rake the field. And that was really just going around and around in a zigzag. I was trying to have very creative routes, whereas Dad just wanted to keep it, just go around the field, getting closer, raking any little bits of hay that's out there. Then after a while of doing that, you would be allowed to make rows of the hay, which is a really special thing, because again, it goes back to the ploughing. The rows had to be straight, the rows had to be getting closer. There was a logistics to it as well, because you had to make a certain amount of rows and then another row, and then you'd bring that in closer, and then you'd bring the other one in closer. And it was kind of trial and error, but it was great. The memories are amazing. The memories, when I think of all the wines that were made, all the pikes that were down there, all the men and the women and children in the fields, all the schketons that was picked out, all the sugons that were made and put over the haycocks, all the flour bags that were used on the top, everything. It was just, it was an exciting time of year. But to remember those great days, it's beautiful.